So here's the question. What do Jacob Kiplimo and I have in common? Now I think to most people the answer is pretty simple. Basically nothing. Jacob Kiplimo, after all, is a marathoning champion. Most recently, he won the Chicago Marathon. He was actually on pace to go sub 2 for most of the first half. I, on the other hand, can barely break a 3:10 marathon on a net 2,000 feet downhill course. So let's just say Jacob Kiplimo and I are on very different levels of running. But this exact thought got me thinking. What if I tried to train like Jacob Kiplimo for a week? Luckily for me, after winning his Chicago Marathon, Jacob put out his last 4 weeks of training. And man, is it absurdly insane. This guy, in his taper, trains more than I normally do in any given week. So I set myself a goal. Let me train like Jacob Kiplimo does for just 1 week. 1 week of his advertised training plan. This is, mind you, the last 4 weeks before he's running Chicago Marathon. Let me see if I can match his mileage. Certainly not his speed. For 1 week. This, I can tell, is gonna be a pretty tough challenge. Man, Jacob Kiplimo is insane. And I guess all the marathon runners of his caliber. Just today, I am logging one of my higher mileage days, and I'm gonna have 6 more of those days incoming. The real question is, will I be able to sleep like Jacob Kiplimo? Because that, I think, is gonna be crucial for what's going to take me through this challenge. Before I jump into day 2, let's just take a quick look at what running like Kiplimo actually means. When I say this man runs a lot, I mean it. It seems like a normal day for Kiplimo to run 20 kilometers in the morning and 10 kilometers at night. For my American friends out there, that's roughly 12.5 miles in the morning and 6.2 at night. Which, I don't know about you, but for me, is a mind-boggling amount of miles to be running every day. So apparently, Kiplimo does not run less than 10K, 6.2 miles, which is absurd. That must be his super easy recovery run. Now to be fair, Kiplimo is a full-time professional runner. That is his job. Luckily, it is not mine. And so, in order to fit my somewhat busy schedule this week, I'm going to set myself a couple of guidelines. The first is I'm not going to be doing any workouts. I'm just trying to hit his mileage. The second is that the way that I hit this mileage might be different than Kiplimo. For example, I already ran less than him on day 1, so I'll have to try and make some of that mileage up later on in the week. Also, there are days where I'll have to split Kiplimo's run up into 2. Right now, I'm on day 2, already kind of feeling it on this uphill, but I will have more running to do soon. Finish my first run of day 2, which means on to the next. Alright, so crazily enough, maybe 3 to 4 hours after my first run of the day, now I am on my second. Look at the sunset though. That's kind of cool. Now Jacob's day 2 consists of 22 kilometers, roughly 13.5 miles. Shorter than usual, but because I have some miles to make up from yesterday, I'll be running a little bit more than that. But partway into the second run of the day, disaster struck. Okay guys, absolute disaster. Oh, frick. I'm feeling it right now. I was intending on making this 10-mile run, 10 to 12-mile run, sort of a loop. But on mile 4.8 right now, I suddenly got the urge to go. Really bad. I had to stop and tie my shoes, and I think that stopping just did it. So when I started running again, I just feel in my stomach, right now. So I'm hightailing it, absolutely hightailing it to the nearest porta potty, which is luckily a mile away.
Holy shit. Am I excited for this? Oh my gosh. All right, that is an extraordinarily successful mission accomplished. Back at it, fully refreshed, fully rejuvenated. There is nothing quite like going when you need to go. Yeah, nothing quite like it. All right, I'm finishing up my run now. It got somewhat dark. I hit 10.15. Here's some of the stats right there. Almost an hour, 30 minutes, 10.2 miles. But there's 5 more days of the challenge.
Alright, it's the end of day 2. I hit around 15 miles today. So I've made a couple of miles up on Kiplimo from yesterday, but still not quite enough to catch up. I'll have to do that sometime in the next 5 days, but more importantly, I already feel quite tired. Right now, I think I'm 50-50 at whether I can do this, like loosely even follow Kiplimo's plan, just trying to keep the mileage high. Turns out, upping your mileage from around 60 miles per week to more than 120 plus is not the best recipe for feeling great or well rested. It is kind of funny, you can usually see Kiplimo sleeps either 9 and 9.5 hours, but on this particular Friday, he sleeps 8.5 hours. Which just makes me think, is he taking into account like a special event he has that day? Sort of blocking it out so he gets a little bit less sleep? Unclear. I'm going to try to stick to the normally prescribed 9, hopefully 9.5 hours. Just woke up. It is dastardly early morning for me, 7 a.m., and I am dreading the thought of going for a run. But today is Kiplimo's light day. Today is Kiplimo's lightest mileage day of the week, 15 kilometers. I'm gonna split it up into 2 runs. I don't think I can do it in 1 run. I just don't have the time in the day for that. I'm gonna head out now. Yikes. Okay, it's the start of day 3. I'm half a mile in to my first run of the day. Feeling, not gonna lie, pretty shitty right now. My body battery is currently in the single digits. It was 3 this morning, and I think I would not be surprised if it went to 0 after this run. Just trying to stay warm. I think this will be the shorter run of the day because I got to get to work. All I need to do is break 9 miles, 9.3 miles today, which is way more doable than the last 2 days. But I do think I need to go over 9 just to make up for the miles that I didn't do yesterday and Monday. Just finished my first morning run, 45 minutes, roughly 5 1/4, a bit over 1/4 miles. On to the next. I didn't get footage of my lunch run, but I hit around 5 miles, a tough 5 that was partially in the rain, and then I was off traveling to Boston. This weekend is my college homecoming, so the plan is to get to Boston, where I'll stay a night with my friends before a couple of us drive up tomorrow. I've actually planned to take tomorrow, Friday, the day off, which I don't think I could have not done if I wanted any chance to finish this challenge. Just got into Boston, and man, is it blustery. Dang. Alright, day 3's over. I hit 10 miles today, broken up into 2 5-mile runs. Definitely the shortest mileage day in terms of this whole week, so I'm kind of worried for the next 4 days. I will not lie, I am in pretty rough shape right now. My feet are feeling it, my legs are just in their standard state, kind of sore. So I don't honestly know whether I'll be able to finish this challenge, but cheers to finding out. All right, it's day number 4. Just woke up, eating some chips, got my water with me, about to go for my first run of the day, hopefully around 20 kilometers. See you after the run.
This run was actually quite nice. I've only been to Boston a couple of times, and so it's always a treat to just explore the city and see what it's all about. Alright, just finished 12.5 miles, 20 kilometers. First run of the day done. Felt surprisingly good. I felt like shit at the beginning and sort of creeping at the end. But in the middle of the run, I was running with a friend and we had some good paces down there. Like, we were running 7:30s, which is fast for me. Yeah, surprisingly not too shabby, and fingers crossed, I am still not injured, which is huge. Huge for the program. Now this, I will admit, is kind of unhinged because I finished my run roughly an hour and a half ago, 20 kilometers, and now I am back at it for another 10K. The schedule just does not work out well today. I have to travel soon. I'm carpooling with some friends to my college, and so this was the only time basically I can fit this run in. I am not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to being done in roughly an hour. I am in rough shape. Rough shape. Almost done with this 10K, but man, am I feeling beat. Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. Oh my gosh, I said I was feeling good in the morning run, but right now after this, still morning run, but hour and a half later, I guess now it's 2.5 hours later, I'm not feeling so good anymore. 3 more days. Yeah, at this point, it's like sunk cost, which is sort of driving me through, but I am feeling fatigued. I am glad to be done though for today. Gonna drive to my college homecoming, have some fun, and enjoy a couple hours, maybe almost 20-ish hours of no running until I wake up tomorrow morning. Okay, so day 4 is done. Tomorrow though, I'm sort of not excited for it because it's 22 kilometers in the morning and then 16 kilometers later in the day, which are 2 really long runs. Not looking forward to that. But the silver lining is if I get through tomorrow and the day after, it's just 1 more day. Sort of like what I think about running, except in a macro style, where on runs where I'm trying to push the mileage, I'll think 1 mile more, and this is like 1 day more. Great Les Mis song, by the way. I'm gonna head to sleep now. See you tomorrow. All right, day 5. Do you want to be in this camp?
Woo!
We're gonna do a 20 kilometer run. Let's go. All right, if you know, you know. We're going up Blair Hill right now. Oh, tough hill, always a tough hill. Porta potties and random bathrooms like this that are outside are goated. Back on the run. 6 miles in. This run was actually really nice. I definitely felt super sore, but it was just so nice to be back where I went to college. Getting to run on familiar roads and trails in good weather, with great company in the first half, it was enough to ease my soreness temporarily away. This section was a little gnarly. You can't quite see it, but these corn stalks jut like 1.5 feet off the ground, so it felt like I was constantly mini hurdling these rows of corn stalks for a good half mile. Luckily it clears out, and then I'm treated to this absurdly beautiful view.
Lap 11, 10:17.
Alright, first run of the day done. Slightly above 20K, hit 15 miles, which is good because now I can lop a little bit off my second run of the day in the afternoon. Okay guys, this is the one that I've been dreading the most. It is 4 p.m., so roughly 5 hours since my first run, but I am just feeling all kinds of beat. Walked around a lot because it's homecoming, so went to the football game too, of course. Did a lot of singing with my a cappella group. So generally, I am tired. Morale is low. But if I want to train like Jacob Kiplimo, then I have another 15, 16 kilometers. I think I can do 15 because I did some extra in the morning, which is graciously needed right now. Yeah, nothing to it but to do it. I'm gonna start. All right, second run done. That was the hardest one by far. 16 kilometers, 10 miles. At various points throughout the run, I definitely wanted to stop. My legs are hurting. They are hurting bad. They are sore, capital S-O-R-E. But now that it's done, I feel great because I don't have to run for a little bit. We'll see. This is gonna be interesting. Day 6 is tomorrow. We'll see if I have it in me. It's just 2 more days, so that's sort of what's pulling me through, the thought that there's only 2 more days and there's the sunk cost of these last 5 days. Still, this is gonna be pretty tough. One thing I will say with all this running is I'm basically outside of running, passing a lot of gas and going to the bathroom quite a lot. Way more than I'd expect. Honestly, it can't be healthy for me. Just like how much volume in terms of food. I'm constantly eating food too. I'm basically just running, eating food, going to the bathroom, sleeping. And I guess I am spending some time at homecoming and with a lot of friends. But yeah, these are really full days. Especially with the bathroom part. All right, I'm a little bit off to a late start today. Have to get 20 kilometers in right now before 10 a.m. It is 8:10. So it's gonna be a bit of a faster run for me. I think I have to by necessity, or I might just cut it short. Overall, I'm feeling thoroughly tired, very frayed, I think. 2 more days, today and tomorrow. This is day 6, run number 1, hopefully a 20K. Have to ease into it a little bit. Yeah, my legs feel it for sure. For sure.
This run, while still exceedingly beautiful, was one in which I felt the miles and fatigue just twisting themselves in.
20K down, 12 and a half miles. Felt rough on my legs. Still good. I think I'm carried a little bit by being in my lovely college hometown, but even that can't really tamp the feelings of soreness that I am currently feeling. Still, basically 2 or 3 more runs left in this entire challenge. So even though my hips are sore, my hamstrings are sore, hopefully I'll be able to get those last 2 or 3 in. After lunch, a bunch of us headed back to Boston. A much needed break for all the walking I'd been doing during homecoming weekend. All right, I am shockingly close to the end of this challenge. 1 10K run now, second run of the day. I'm back in Boston briefly, very briefly, before I head back to the wonderful woods of New Hampshire. I am sort of looking forward to this run in the sense that I was stuck in a car for the last 3 hours. I'm gonna try to hit some of the Somerville community path. 3 miles out, 3 miles back. Shouldn't be too bad, I hope. Legs are pretty tired, but that is par for the course at this point. Let's get it. Thank you, Ken, for the wonderful recommendation to run on this path. It really helped me at this point to be running with other runners, and it was a great way to move along the city without having to worry about traffic. All right, 10K down, day 6, run number 2, down, 1 more day. At this point, I gotta do it. My body's telling me no, but I'm here already. I've done 6 days of this, of training like Kiplimo, except not really, because he's doing workouts and he's running much faster than me. But I am trying to get his mileage and mostly getting it at the cost of a lot of soreness.
This is Porter. The destination of
I've just gotten back from homecoming weekend. Great fun, great merriment. I am feeling quite tired. That is what 6 days of running like Kiplimo will absolutely do to you. 1 day left. Slated for tomorrow is a 30-kilometer long run. The thought of that sort of makes my insides curl a little bit. I think my body is just really ready for a day off. But I have to get through one more day. 7 days of running like Kiplimo. Just 1 week in this man's 4-week taper before a marathon. And it is crushing me. Okay, it's been a day of travel. I'm tired. I'm gonna shower, go to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm on my second to last run. 10K now, 20K at night. I feel like all of the past week of running mileage is just hitting me all at once in my legs. I think partly why this challenge has been doable for me so far was the running was sort of intermixed with the excitement of travel and going to homecoming. But now that I am back on my last day of the challenge, the fatigue has just built up. All right, final 10K down, one more run to go. That was a bit of a slog, honestly, at the end. Feeling all kinds of sore. I've said that many times now, but I just have one more run left, so I have to finish this later tonight. It's supposed to be raining, which is a little rough for me, but I've gotten too far to quit now.
So I just got back home from a day of work and teaching chess, which I do on Monday nights. And of course, daylight savings was a day and a half ago, so already in the dark. And as you can see, also in the rain. I have one more run to do, a 20K. I do not want to do it in the rain. The forecast says it's going to clear up in like 2.5 hours, but then of course the ground is going to be wet. So this is going to be a race down to the wire. I do want to get it in before midnight to count as it having been run on this day, make it a full 7 days. But yeah, it's just looking bleak. One more run left. Just one more. I need sleep. I need to rest my body, but not before I get this last run in. It is 8:20, a couple hours from when this challenge ends. It's raining outside. It's dark, it's cold, and there is not really a bone or muscle in my body that wants me to go out and run. But this is the last run that I would have to do as a part of this 7-day challenge of trying to run like Kiplimo for 1 week. And so I'm gonna go out and do it. Take my GoPro, gloves, one gel, have to hit 20K, which by now, I finally know is 12.4-ish miles. One more run, and I'm done. So I'm gonna get out there and just force myself to do it. See you soon.
All right, starting it now. I don't know how I'm gonna get 12 and a half in. This is gonna be rough. It's snowing. Pretty sure you can't see it, but I do. With the help of this headlamp, these little flakes are coming down on me. That's great. Honestly, I'm ready for some snow. Right now, I'm feeling the fatigue settle in. A little bit over 4 miles, so more than a third way through, 2/3 to go.
Finally, I get my last gel of the challenge in. I have gone through a lot of these this week. One thing that I definitely won't miss.
Okay, so what started off as snow has quickly devolved to rain and now sleeting rain, which honestly, at this point, it's kind of welcome. You know, I'm warm, I'm limber, as limber as you can be for running like 110 miles in the last 7 days. And yeah, now I'm just ready to finish this. Sometimes you just forget how good it feels in rain. And like, I mean that totally unsarcastically. Because we often, or at least I often, will kind of, you know, shy away from running in the rain. Because it sounds just kind of depressing, right? But when you're in the thick of it, running, and then it comes on you, like it just did, it's just cool. It's just really, really cool. I wrote a little poem in commemoration. It's funny how I'll meet the rain, first with wearied caution, and by the end, soak through and through into puddles I fly abandoned. Of the almost 200 kilometers, just 1 kilometer left for these 7 days is crazy to think about. And you know what? This last kilometer is basically all uphill. What do you know? As it should be. Holy shit, I'm done. I actually can't believe it. 12 and a half miles, 20K, a week of training like Kiplimo. Let's freaking go. Oh man, I'm so excited to get some rest. Honestly, that last mile was so rough. I felt like, yeah, I just felt so out of it. But now that I'm done, holy shit, it feels great. Man, I have so much respect for elite runners. The time it takes, just the sheer time it takes is crazy. And I've also just found a newfound respect for like long distance ultramarathoners who do 100 miles. Like to do what I did, except continuously without sleep. Like 7 days of sleep, or 7 nights rather. That is absurd, bonkers, just ridiculoso crazy. Man, I feel so pumped and so tired. But most of all right now, I feel accomplished. Time to give these old legs some rest.
And that, my friends, ends my attempt at trying to run like Kiplimo for 1 week. 123 miles in 7 days, roughly 35,000 steps per day, and a whole lot more metrics I'm sure I've never achieved before. Kiplimo, you are an absolute beast. As for me, I am tired. Thanks for watching.